Welcome to the Innovation World podcast. Innovation World is your go-to source for all things innovation, invention, and entrepreneurship. Our website is www.innovationworld.org.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Innovation World. This is your co-host, Carmine Danisco, with another awesome show for you today. I have my co-host, Julie Shively, and she is going to come on and tell us a whole bunch of stuff about what's going on, what she's doing, and I can't believe she's still awake, editing all these videos from the Global Innovation Field Trip. Hey, Julie, what's going on?
Hey, you're right. I just finished up the 67th video right before this call. That was from our last 24-hour Global Innovation Field Trip, and they were fantastic. I didn't get to see all of the interviews because we split it up between a lot of different hosts and guest hosts, so it was really cool to be able to see a lot of the interviews that I missed, and they were fantastic. They were so creative, from people from 5 years old, and I think the oldest, what we qualify as student, was 20 years old, and then we had a lot of program leaders too, but it was fantastic. I can't wait till our next event, which is going to be October 9th and 10th. We're going to try out a little bit of a new format for that one. We'll have a 24-hour gig, but we're going to have some student panels, and we have a huge, fantastic announcement that we'll be making in the next week or two related to that. Somebody gifted the gift, a really cool gift.
Wow,
and
that's awesome. It's about time you're getting something.
I'm telling you, and the gift will end up going to either a student innovator or their school or district. They'll win it for their school or district, but the details we're working on now, and I can't wait to announce it in a couple weeks. So,
amazing.
That'll be fun. So I will be adding these videos to our website soon. So probably by tomorrow, we'll have some up on the globalinnovationfieldtrip.org site. If anyone wants to go out and check out their interviews, they're very cool. And our guest that I'll introduce in a minute can go out and check out some of those interviews too, so that he gets an idea of what he wants to do for the October 9th and 10th gift if he's available to join us. So,
oh, wow. You're going to try to suck him in on that too, huh?
I'm trying to get him to say it on tape so that he can't back out.
So, real quick, I know we want to get to our guests, but it is mind-blowing when you're doing the field trip, when we're doing it 24 hours, and I think it kind of all blurs together because, we're doing it. You guys did so much today. This last one, I was a little bit off on this last one. I didn't do too much, but you guys did so much. And then you back up and you start piecemealing it together and taking it apart and watch the videos. It's amazing how much is done within that 24 hours, right?
Yeah, it is. It's crazy. And to have people represented from all over, I think we had China and Canada and Ukraine, United Arab Emirates, USA. I'm missing at least two or three in there, but they'll be in the long list that we post to the website. And to just listen to these kids all over the world. I mean, there's a lot of very similar problems from country to country, and there's a lot of really unique problems from country to country that, in the U.S., we take a lot of things for granted that are still real issues elsewhere. So it's really cool to get together with these young people and listen to what they have to say, because they will lead us. So,
and a lot of people believe that they're the only group or the only country or city or state that's having those issues. So when they hear the young inventors, the young adults, and people talking about the same issues they're facing, I mean, it's not great that they're facing them, but they feel that they're not alone.
Yeah. And what's really neat is we've actually built some connections between countries, with the students, where somebody is watching one of the students present and they have an idea. And so they're actually connecting outside of the program too, to share ideas with each other, or share techniques, or talk about some technology that might make their invention even better. It's just a really cool collaboration, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
Yeah, I agree. Very cool. I love it. It's awesome.
All right. Well, I have a real special guest today. He reached out to us, actually. He found us somewhere online. I'm not sure how he did that, but I hope he tells us, because we want more people to find us. But with us today is Samyak Shrimali. And Samyak, if he's still there, is from Beaverton, Oregon. And he's 15 years old now. And he was named one of the top young scientists through one of the programs that he entered. And I think he made it to some of their final rounds, and he can tell us all about it. So I think he goes by Sam also. So Sam, I want you to say hello to everybody and tell us your invention story. We'll have all sorts of questions for you when you're done, I'm sure.
Hi, I'm Samyak Shrimali from Beaverton, Oregon, and I developed Sanjeevani, a novel automated system for hospital-acquired infection monitoring and prevention. So to begin with, infections and viruses can be highly reduced if proper hand hygiene compliance is followed in hospitals. But today, there is no effective systems in hospitals that ensures WHO guidelines are being followed properly. So I designed a system which is capable of providing immediate alerts to staff for compliance pass or fail indications, keeping detailed records of staff compliance on a central server, and generating automatic reports which can later be used by management to take corrective actions. Essentially, my system consists of 4 main modules: the wristband module, sink hand wash module, alcohol rub module, and patient bed module. The wristband module is issued to the healthcare staff and outpatients. This is a module which is worn on a person's wrist. This module receives real-time reminders to follow hand hygiene and alerts when hand hygiene is not being followed. The unique tag on this module is detected by the other modules placed at various compliance checkpoints across the hospital and is used to upload compliance statuses to the central server. The server then processes the data and provides reminders to the wristband and alerts when hand hygiene is violated. My second module is the sink hand wash module, which is used for monitoring and tracking the compliance of hand hygiene at sinks around the hospital. This module does a complete hand wash procedure check, like detecting the presence of a person's hand, checking if soap is applied in the hand wash, and how much time the hand wash is being conducted for. Once all of these checks are satisfied, then a successful event is generated and reported to the server, else a fail event will be generated and reported. This module really ensures that a person's hands are germs-free and have completed a proper hand wash as per the guidelines of WHO. The third module is the alcohol rub module, which is used for monitoring and tracking the compliance of hand hygiene while doing an alcohol rub. So most healthcare professionals are extremely busy, and sometimes they miss doing alcohol rubs before and after touching patients. And guidelines indicate that about 80% of professionals at some point miss doing alcohol rubs. And that is why I designed this alcohol rub module, which can really ensure that compliance is followed each and every time before and after touching patients. My fourth module is the patient bed module, which is used for monitoring and triggering the compliance of hand hygiene when a staff comes within 1.5 meter range of a patient's bed and out of 1.5 meter range of a patient's bed. As the name indicates, it is attached to each patient's bed. It checks for healthcare workers' arrival and exit in the patient bed area and provides them an alert for an alcohol rub before doing procedures to the patient. Basically, all my modules work in sync and provide real-time alerts for hand washing and alcohol rubs to reduce infection and virus spread in hospitals, combating the major problem of hospital-acquired infection.
Wow. Okay, so my first question is, did you tell us the name of the overall innovation? Did I miss it?
Yes, so this innovation is called Sanjeevani.
Can you spell that for me?
Sanjeevani.
What does Sanjeevi mean?
So in Hindu mythology, Sanjeevani is a mythical herb that can heal any disease. That's why I chose it to be the name of my innovation, which is meant for cutting down infection spread.
Very, very good.
Wow.
So, this has been a really weird first 6 months of 2020, but you didn't come up with this because of COVID. You came up with this way back. I know that one of the competitions you were in ended October 2019, but you probably started inventing this way before. When did you first think of this?
Yeah, so I always knew that hospital-acquired infections were a huge problem in our world, as they account for millions of cases and thousands of deaths each year. And I really believed a system like Sanjeevani would significantly help reduce rates of these infections. As Sanjeevani, as you said, Sanjeevani is now more than ever needed as the world continues to suffer from the deadly coronavirus with no vaccine or treatment, where the most effective way of prevention is by maintaining proper hand hygiene compliance. So I really predicted this, as I really didn't know that this was going to happen, but I guess I predicted it back then.
When did you start working on this?
Yes, so I was inspired to design Sanjeevani because of my own personal experience with hospital-acquired infections. In my last visit to India, due to a family member being sick, me and my family had to regularly visit a hospital. And soon my mom had actually got sick, and after consulting with a doctor, we came to know that she had received an infection from the visits to the hospital. At this point, I realized that there was a problem prevailing in the world called hospital-acquired infections. And as per the World Health Organization, about 1.7 million people suffered from these each year, and they account for 99,000 deaths just in the US alone. And I started researching on this, and after further research, I learned that poor hand hygiene compliance was the primary reason for the spreading of these infections. And WHO has stipulated very strict hand hygiene guidelines for hospitals, but there's currently no effective systems to really track and enforce hand hygiene compliance. So I focused on developing a tool to monitor and enforce hand hygiene compliance in hospitals, all in all to reduce rates of hospital-acquired infections.
This is brilliant. This is really brilliant. So I hope your mother is fine at this point.
Yeah,
okay.
She's fine. It's a minor.
And there are a lot of people that's the exact reason they're afraid to go to the hospital, is because they're afraid they're going to come home worse than they went in by picking something up. And I know hospitals do everything they can, but there's just, when you have all those sick people concentrated in one area, germs are going to get away. So this is really very brilliant. What do you think, Carmine?
I'm still in awe of how you put this together. Real quick question. Why so many modules? Is it something that you want to be able to break up in pieces or be able to track in different ways? Or, why did you break it up in different modules?
Yes, so when I visited hospitals for my initial research, I found that hand hygiene is conducted at various places like sinks at hospitals, at alcohol rub dispensers, and there's specific guidelines that WHO has stipulated, like a staff should conduct an alcohol rub when they are within 1 meter range of a patient's bed and when they're out of 1 meter range of a patient's bed. And I just thought that these specific things were the main reason that hand hygiene compliance is a major issue in hospitals. And I really focused on these little areas which can make a major impact and really solve this problem in the future.
Yeah. Do you think just having this type of system running in a hospital, it would make people think so much that, hey, I better go through these steps. I better follow the WHO guidelines. Is I don't think that the people that work in the hospitals are meaning to not do this. I think they're just so busy that these things slip their mind sometimes, or they don't do it well enough, or they don't have time. But having this kind of system, I think, would really, really help.
Yeah, this type of system really provides alerts just in case the hospital staff is busy helping a patient or doing some other tasks, and they just forget about conducting proper hand hygiene. This system is just a gentle reminder to do that and really reduce the spread of infections in hospitals.
Wow.
I think anytime you do anything in repetition, and in the hospital, I imagine there's a lot of repetition going from one room to the next to check on meds, going from one room to the next for vitals. You're going to think, wait, did I do that? Did I not? And in today's COVID world, it's perfect because those caretakers don't want to get sick either. And so they're probably having a general alert like that probably would make them feel relieved that they were reminded, because now there's a lot more they can take home, a lot of deadly things they could take home with them as well.
Yeah.
So is it a far stretch to think that you could develop an application similar to this for people in their own homes to be able to say, I just got back to home base, I should be washing my hands. I should be, whatever it is, the protocol that we should do as we walk in, I should be taking my mask off. I should be washing my mask, things like that.
Yes, of course. So proper hand hygiene compliance is not just needed in hospitals, but in many other places in industries. Like my innovation with slight modification in its algorithms can be used in restaurants or supermarkets where it's mandatory for staff to wash their hands and sanitize them. But currently, there is no way to monitor and enforce hand hygiene compliance there. So Sanjeevani could really be a great fit to suppress the spread of infections in those places. It could, as you said, also be used in homes for our everyday lives to alert hand washing and sanitizer rubs. And overall, really, the applications of Sanjeevani are endless. Anywhere where tracking of hand hygiene is required, Sanjeevani could be used with slight modification to its algorithms. And it could be a revolutionary tool to really combat the spread of germs, diseases, and bacteria in our world.
I'm thinking one of the things it can do is be a lifesaver in schools. Everyone's going back to schools, and you can't count on a 6-year-old to remember to wash their hands necessarily. Another thing you could do, here's a futuristic thing you could do, is if everybody always wore these bracelets, and then they're going up and they accidentally shake a hand because it's so ingrained into us, it could set off a really loud alert. Go wash, go wash.
Yeah. Hey, Sam, real quick though, can you take us through one of the modules and tell us how it would work?
Yes, I actually have a slideshow of the demonstration video. Would you like me to present that?
Sure.
It would be awesome.
Yes. Can I screen share?
Absolutely.
I think so.
Yes. I think it says the host has disabled participant screen sharing.
Let's see here. Okay. Try that now.
Yes. Yes, it works. Yes, so this is my alcohol rub module, and I'll just present this real quick.
I love the name, right, Julie?
Yes, so what exactly happens is, as you can see here, the alcohol rub module is placed on the alcohol dispenser, and the staff would come near the alcohol dispenser, and the RFID tag on their wristband module would be detected by the alcohol rub module. And this is all also being displayed on the central server at the same time, where all of the staff's moves are being recorded, that staff was detected at the alcohol rub dispenser. And if they had completed a successful alcohol rub, they would get okay, I'll just replay this video. It went a little bit too quick. As you can see, before the light on the wristband module is turned on, which means that the person has to complete an alcohol rub, as they got an alert because they were either within 1 meter range of a patient's bed or out of 1 meter range of a patient's bed. They got an alert on their wristband module to really do an alcohol rub. So they got an alert, so they went to the alcohol rub dispenser where the alcohol rub module is present. And when they get close to the dispenser, they have to scan their wristband module, which displays on the central server that the wristband module, the person is detected at the alcohol rub dispenser. And once they have pushed on the alcohol dispenser and hand hygiene has successfully been conducted, another alert will be pushed to the server, and the person's LED on their wristband module will be turned off, ensuring that the person has really done a successful hand hygiene check.
Wow, that's awesome. That's a great idea. I love that you can have somebody or something centrally keeping track of that also.
Yes, so for future compliance checks, staff could do more training and really focus on what they've been missing instead of focusing on other things that maybe they're already doing right. They can focus on the specific ideas or the specific places they're not following hand hygiene compliance.
So I see 3M on the side of your alcohol rub module or machine, and I know you were in the 3M top young scientists competition. So did they help build the prototype, or did you just put that name on there for them, or?
Everything that has been shown in the everything that has been showing in the presentation demonstration is this is a dispenser from 3M. That's why there's a tag of 3M. But as you said, yes, I was selected as a top 10 national finalist in the 3M Young Scientist Challenge last year. And with that, I got a summer mentorship with my mentor, who was a 3M scientist, Dr. Mafuza Ali. And she was very helpful in providing me valuable feedback and providing me with resources who could really help me in really bringing my innovation to the next level. Because at the beginning of my mentorship, Sanjeevani was more of an idea and a basic prototype, but I really developed it into a system at the end of my journey.
That's very cool. I bet your parents are very proud of you.
Hey, Sam, have you seen? I'm sure people are interested in your system, but have you seen an increase of people interested in what you're doing because of the pandemic?
Yes, absolutely. Because of the pandemic, I think Sanjeevani has more potential, and Sanjeevani also is more needed in hospitals. So I think a lot of people are now finding the problem of hospital-acquired infections really a major problem, and really seeing how much potential systems like Sanjeevani have and how they could be used to really reduce the spread of infections in hospitals and save numerous lives in the future.
Wow. Very cool.
So I know how you start. I know what inspired you to create Sanjeevi itself, but even before that, what have you invented in the past? Was this the first invention? Did you do some kind of program through school or outside of school that got you interested?
Yes, so since my childhood, I've been experimenting with many science-based creations, like different types of robots with the Lego Mindstorms EV3 set, also doing DIY projects like an automatic coin sorter. But on the innovation side, I would really say that Sanjeevani is my first key innovation with significant impact in society.
Wow.
That's very cool. So where are you in the process of, what do you want to do with this? It's just as an idea that was great, you're going to move on and build something new, or you want to further develop this particular idea? And if so, where are you in those steps?
Yes, so at the moment, I have a full working prototype of Sanjeevani, but it still needs some work to take it to a product state, as currently my system has an accuracy of 94% in reporting the hand hygiene compliance to the central server, as you saw in the demonstration, and an accuracy of 93% in sending immediate compliance alerts back to the staff, as you saw on the wristband module. So I am constantly working on improving the system further to increase its accuracy and also really make it more compact. In the future, I plan to add machine learning and computer vision capabilities to really improve and widen the scope of my system and really deploy it in the hospitals to save lives in the future.
That's awesome. Awesome. So what's next?
All?
What do you
honestly.
need? Yeah, I know. What do you need to get to that next step?
Yes, so I really am trying to right now improve my accuracy of alerts being sent to the staff and compliance reporting back to the server, which I would really need to commercialize Sanjeevani first and really partner with other innovators and really converge with them and really talk about how I could improve Sanjeevani. I also plan to, on my own, add machine learning and computer vision techniques to improve Sanjeevani's accuracy And I also plan to make it more compact. As you saw, the wristband module was a little bit bulky, but in real hospital scenarios, people would really want something that is a little bit more compact and can be easily worn around the day. So with that, I will need to focus on industrial packaging of my modules and really making them more compact and secure. And to really deploy Sanjeevani in hospitals, I will need to go through a series of approvals, which could be a really lengthy process. But I am constantly working on trying to partner with industrial partners who could really speed up the process and really help Sanjeevani reach its potential. I really feel like there is a decent amount of work left to do before Sanjeevani gets implemented in hospitals, but I constantly try to work hard and try to roll it out in hospitals as soon as possible.
Wow. See, Julie, I thought he was going to say he needed a whole bunch of money.
Yeah, I guess he doesn't.
Yeah. The other part, Sam, is that you can also to do some testing to show how it works also for the DEA and different WHO. You could test it in some of the overnight type facilities like dentist offices, doctor's offices that are not connected to the hospitals and things like that, just to gather data to show that your system works as proof of concept too. So yeah, I know you want to get it into a hospital, but to move it along and do some of your proof of concept, you can implement it in other facilities that don't require as much protocols and system checks as you needed to get started.
Yeah, so at the moment, I've already visited a lot of hospitals and infection prevention areas in Oregon, and I've received very valuable feedback from them. And they've told me that they really like a system like this. And if a system like this is implemented in the hospital, it could be a revolutionary tool. But as you said, really testing needs to be done in real hospital cases. As right now, I've only stipulated hospital-like scenarios at home. But as you said, really, Sanjeevani needs to be really implemented in those hospitals and really ran through with doctors and I have to collect more data on how to improve Sanjeevani in the future.
Yeah, just getting that first proof of concept, that first version 1, super important. The great part about it is a lot of the equipment, the RFID detectors, the bracelets, things like that, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. That stuff is already available off the shelf, so you don't have to. Obviously, you want your own branded, your own type, but at first, that first version, you can certainly implement things that are already out there.
And I'm wondering if you could do something where it's not necessarily a bracelet, but can be. So you've got a fixture of some kind that holds that data and gives you the, does the relay between your modules and gives you the alerts. But, for somebody working in a hospital, I'm thinking that it'd be so easy to forget their bracelet at home, especially if it has to be taken off because it's not waterproof, or it could have, get germs on it. It'd have to be made so it can be easy to wash. But one of the things they always have is some kind of ID badge clip so I'm thinking in some scenarios, it could just be something that sticks on their ID badge, and then in other scenarios, it could be put into a bracelet or a watch, or depending upon the application and where the person works and what makes the most sense for that kind of work.
Yeah, I've actually really pondered upon this idea. As you said, the staff have badges that they use on a daily basis. And when I actually visited hospitals, even the staff at the hospitals and the doctors really provided that same feedback that instead of a wristband, there should also be another option where it could be converged with the staff badge we already have. And I've really been pondering on this idea on how I could implement that. I've also been pondering upon if this could be implemented on the staff's phones, which they already have on a daily basis, where they would receive alerts on their phones instead of a wristband, which they have to wear around and which gets dirty and which they might have to sanitize every time they are in contact with a patient. But as you said, having it implemented with the staff's badge is an extremely amazing idea, which I really plan to implement when I try to make Sanjeevani more compact and more secure.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful. It's great. Okay, so here's my official invite. I think you should take a look at the Global Innovation Field Trip website and think about whether you want to be involved in the October 10th, 11th. I may have said 9th and 10th earlier. It's October 10th and 11th, the next field trip, and you can get a 15-minute spot, show off Sanjeevi to students around the world, and just really help inspire more kids to think really hard about doing things like this and help us save our world.
Yes, definitely. I will definitely look at it.
Okay. I mean, you can't say you don't have time. It's 24 hours. You got to be able to pick 15 minutes in that 24 hours. And it's such a really cool invention, and you can demonstrate it nicely. So I think it's perfect for an online presentation.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
And you won't get anybody infected because it's virtual.
There you go. Really great idea. I can think of things even outside of the healthcare industry or outside of hand washing, that the whole idea behind setting some kind of parameters and getting alerts. I mean, once you have the system down, it doesn't matter if it's in the healthcare system. It can be used for so many different things.
Yeah, with slight modifications to its algorithms, the possibilities are endless. It could be used anywhere.
You can dominate the world. All right. Any last questions, Carmine or Sam?
No, I'm good. I think it's great. I would love to try to talk with Sam afterwards, see what he needs, what maybe we with our connections can get him help, or we need to be specific on and take piece by piece. But if we can help you with some stuff, I would love to talk to you offline and see how we can keep the project going.
Yes. So, Samyak, I will connect you two via email. But in addition to being a world-class podcast host, Carmine actually works or manages, is an operating manager, owner of Inventor's Launchpad. And that's kind of what Inventor's Launchpad does. They help take ideas all the way to market or all the way to licensing, just depending on where somebody wants to go. So if Carmine is offering to give you input, take him up on it.
Yeah, definitely.
He's an expert in that field. So I'll connect you guys after the call.
Yeah. And I'll wash my hands before we talk too, so.
Yeah.
Right after he eats his pizza.
Sorry. Before we end, I would just like to say one thing, is that I'm an advocate for hand washing and really maintaining proper personal hygiene. And during this COVID pandemic, my request for everyone who's watching is to really wash and sanitize your hands frequently, because we all know that the coronavirus has no vaccine or cure right now. And at the moment, proper hand hygiene is the best method for combating it. So clean hands save lives. So let us all make hand hygiene a priority. Thank you.
Sounds great. Thanks so much.
He's really good, Julie.
Thank you.
I know,
He's good. You got to get him. We got to get him on the global innovation. He's really good. He's got the whole pitch down. Hey, Sam, real quick before we get off, how many times have you pitched this idea?
I have actually pitched this at the 3M Young Scientist Challenge. As you said, I was a top 10 finalist, and there was a big final event where I gave a 10-minute presentation. And I've also presented this at the Regeneron International Science and Engineering Fair, also known as ISEF. This year it was virtual, so it was pretty good. And I've also presented this at the International Inventions versus Corona Challenge, where I won the bronze certificate.
Awesome.
Yay.
That's great.
Good job.
Yeah, well, you do a great job. You speak very well on the microphone, on camera, so you do a really good job. I think that whether this project or whatever you do in the future, you're going to go a long way, young man.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. We'll see you October 10th or 11th.
All right, Julie. Well, we're going to close up the show. And this, Julie, I forgot to mention, this is our last show for this season. What do you think about that?
Sam took us to the end here. I think it's great. We are actively scheduling for next season. We may have September completely full right now, but check with me if you're interested in doing a podcast with Innovation World. Series 2 starts first Wednesday of September.
Yeah, awesome. And I want to say thank you very much, all you listeners out there. Please going out to Google Play or iTunes, going out to innovationworld.org. Leave us a rating, a review. We could really use the help. Tell some other people about it if you find some people that you need a little bit of help along on the innovation front. For Ms. Julie Shively, for myself, Carmen Denisko, we thank you for listening, and we will catch you next season on Innovation World. You all take care.
Thank you for joining us today for the Innovation World podcast on the Launch Network. Innovation World is your go-to source for all things innovation, invention, and entrepreneurship. Our website is www.innovationworld.org.